I did not want to miss the opportunity to wish Dr. Brazelton happy birthday, but also say from the bottom of my heart, one who's been involved in the issues of children and families, and certainly children and families at risk, a great, big, warm, wonderful, deep sense of thank you for all that you have done in this area of public policy. All that you've done taking care of the kids, but I'm talking about public policy. And you know, it's really quite striking now to, after being in the minority all these years and unable to affect the policy the way that I would like and many other advocates of children would like to come back now to be in the majority and have Barry here and think back 25 years ago when we started the Select Committee on Children, Youth, and Families. And come over here. We started the Committee on Children, Youth, and Families, and he was a big proponent of it, and he was influential with Speaker O'Neill at that time, saying that this was an urgent matter. And I was fortunate enough to be appointed by the Speaker to chair that committee. In our very first hearing, he was our very first witness. And Barry looked across the committee. I actually think it might have been in this room, our first hearing. And he looked at a committee that was as far left as you could go in the Congress and as far right as you can go in the Congress, mainly men. We had women come on and off the committee, Lindy Boggs for a while, Barbara Boxer, Barbara Mikulski on the committee. And he opened it up by telling us about the relationships between newborns and their parents, and how these newborns could make all these distinctions about who was in the room and who wasn't, and the impact that you could have on this newborn immediately. You didn't have to wait for them to learn colors and numbers. You could do it immediately. And at one point in that hearing, and I've done this so many times, people think I'm crazy when I do it in some audience. They wonder what the hell I'm doing here. But he went like this. He says, you take this baby, and you look like this, and if you go, no, like this, and you get down like this, and that baby starts looking, and it wants more, and it wants more, and you go like this, and you give it more, and the baby wants more, and you go like this. So just like today, we have votes. So you see this, you know, pretty soon everybody has to leave the committee to go vote and to come back. And you see people talking to one another in the elevator, these men in our pinstripe suits going, you know, you just go like this, if you just go like this, and the world changed. And the world changed. And if you think back at that time, those of you who are old enough to think back at that time, there's a lot of people in this room who were in that room at that time, this was at the height of the so-called Reagan Revolution. And this was at a time when we were going to cut all resources in government, and they were going to be cut across the board, 2%, 5%, 7%. And the work of this committee, built on the intelligence and the commitment of this man, we actually got new investments on behalf of newborns, new investments on behalf of the nutrition for newborns and care systems at that time. And it was really owed to the incredible personality, intellectual capacity, leadership, and plus he's very persistent, you know. He's just incredibly persistent. And that's how it happened. And I have thought about that so many times and in so many audiences in my district and around the country as I'm trying to explain the impact, the positive impact that we can have. And, you know, this year, 25 years later, Speaker Pelosi had the Summit on Children, the Speaker's Summit on Children, and now we had, we didn't have a pediatrician there who was going like this with the newborns, but we had a PowerPoint. But it brought the science, and it told, again, a new gathering of members of Congress that it's now just conclusive of the kinds of positive impacts we can have with these children, and of course the kinds of destructive impacts we can have with these children, with really the toxic behavior against children that is so worrisome in today's age. But to think of those two ends of this argument, and to think how far Barry Brazelton pushed this debate in this country and to make it a matter simply of political fact, that this is an area of need, this is an area where we get greater returns on our investment than the investments we make, and it's a matter of urgent public policy. And so it's very exciting to be in this new Congress with this new speaker who says time and again to our caucus and to people around the country, it's about our children, our children, our children. It's about our future, our future, our future. And if you combine those two, you come up with a different answer to almost every question you ask. And that's what we want to try to do. And we do that in honor of you. And thank you so much.
You know, we worked on several bills together, and they would always follow me with an intact family, absolutely middle-class family, looking perfect, and say, if you do what he says, you'll take any control away from the family, and the government will be running our children. You remember that?
Yes.
Oh, my God. And we got parental leave.
We got parental leave.
457.
Yes. Yep.
What else have we got?
We just got family medical leave for flight attendants and pilots who hadn't had it all these years. All of a sudden, that became
What's the next
possible.
step?
The next step is a major push on early childhood, across the board, 0 to 5, and that's where we're going. You know, we're told now by The Economist and everyone else that if we really want to maximize our returns and the potential of these children and their opportunities, it's 0 to 5. And I think that's where we want to go. And we're looking forward to a new administration who will understand that. And that's going to be, it's going to be very exciting. I'd also be remiss if I didn't send, and I talked to her last night, birthday greetings from Ann Rosewater, our staff director at that time. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry I can't stay longer, but we're controlled by the bells. We'll have to work on that one. You know? Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming.